Blessings, Ohana. It's great to be here now with this virtual reality. I am here to talk about vitality. Vitality is feeling good in your body, feeling energized, feeling like your body tempo is functioning optimally, feeling like all of your cells are alive and well and your consciousness is evenly spread throughout every part of your body, from your toes to your head. And my journey with vitality. It's been a long journey, and I can safely say that I have so much vitality. So much. Like, I'm capable of doing so much in a day with my body physically. And that just feels so good to be able to know the capabilities of my body. So anyways, going into it, as a child, my relationship with food was very horrible because I'm highly sensitive, and I was being fed processed foods like hot dogs and chips and goldfish and just like food that's not real, that comes in a package that has like all this artificial things that's just not good for your body. And so I started to develop a really unhealthy relationship with food because I started to associate eating with feeling poorly. But you know, like, your parents love you and want you to be nourished, so they're like, here, like, I love you, eat this food. And but it would make me sick. It would make me feel physically sick. It would make my body feel not good. But at the same time, the neurons in your brain go off and you're like, oh wow, like, this feels so good in the moment. And not to mention addictive chemicals that are put in like children's snacks. Like, I remember like those extreme goldfish, like I would eat them and like I wouldn't be able to stop eating them. Like, I literally wouldn't stop, and then I'd be like, wait a second, all of these goldfish are gone. And it's because of the chemicals that they put into the goldfish and other things. But anyways, so I associated food with feeling poorly, and as I grew up and got more sensitive and attuned my body to veganism, which felt so good for me. But then I started to like really have a curiosity of, wow, food, like, what is this slightly unhealthy obsession? Because I think that I was just picking up on that in our society, and I think that it's normal to have this obsession with food because at the core of it, we want to know, like, I think that at the core obsession of eating disorders and food, it's truly just our body's desire to function optimally and feel amazing. And yeah, so I started to have this obsession with food and diets and like these things because I just wanted to know more and figure out the best way that feels good for my body. And as I got more and more sensitive, every time I would eat, I would feel tired or get headaches or just feel like or I would associate food with like celebration, or like, oh, it's a Friday, like, oh, my ego wants to go and like eat this food, like, rah, rather than like, oh wow, let me be so grateful and enjoy the nourishment process as I nourish myself and nourish my body. I would associate food, I think we as a society associate food with like almost like, oh, let's like get drunk, or you know, these like lower desires. But really, food, the purpose of food is a blessing, gratitude to enjoy the pleasure, and also to nourish ourselves and nourish our soul, nourish our body. So anyways, moving forward on my journey, I would get so tired after I ate, so I'm like, why? So then I decided to go raw vegan. That's just what felt good in my body. I really was able to cultivate a good relationship with like, oh wow, food's actually supposed to come from the earth. and this is the best. Like, that makes sense, yeah? Like, of course the food is actually supposed to come from the earth. Duh. And so this was a really healing journey for me, and I would like, I before I was raw vegan, I wouldn't always eat often because it would make me tired and groggy and not want to do things, and I would get sleepy. But when I was raw, after I would eat, I would be energized and just feel like, wow, like I just feel like this energy ready to activate me, and like energy to do more things. And that's what food is, really, is giving you fuel to do more things. And you also get to benefit from the medicine of the food, like the vibration of it, like cacao, or the intelligence of the leafy greens, or the intelligence of Mama Gaia's womb from a juicy avocado. And yeah, so I went raw vegan, and then this was an amazing thing for me to do, to actually realize that food is medicine, and food is meant to every little thing that you put in your body affects you. And really just did a lot of cleansing with this, and then I got to a period where I would fast, and that felt amazing because I was able to reach states of consciousness that I have never reached before, and just like feel my body feel so empty, and realize that I'm still capable of doing things even on an empty stomach. So I had a journey of fasting, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful journey. It felt so good to feel so clear, and just like almost feel like how a tree felt when I would fast. Just like this clear, translucent being is how I felt. But I realized that when I would fast, my aura would be a lot more sensitive and receptive to energy, rather than exuding my own energy. I was much more receptive. So this is just something to take note of. Fasting is amazing to cleanse the body and listen to your body and eat when you're only hungry. But yeah, and then I came to Hawaii, to Maui, and things started to shift. I was raw for a very long time, and then I started to eat cooked food and just kind of eat whatever. And my relationship with food started to shift and change, and I really started to form a heart connection with the food, because I had formed like a slight guilt around, a slight perfectionism around like having really high standards for what I put into my body, of like only fruit and feeling every little morsel of everything that I ate, because I was just so clear and sensitive. But it got to a point where I felt a little ungrounded, so I started to eat cooked food again, and this felt satisfying in a way. But then I started to eat like random shit again, like bread and gluten and things. But the wisdom that I gained from this is to realize that our bodies have the power to transmute anything. No matter what you put in your body temple is so powerful that it can transmute anything into energy. Absolutely anything, with unconditional love, and yeah. And so after this period, I did decide to go on a cleanse, and then eventually go back to being raw again. And so I'm now raw. And personally, I feel that raw feels the best in my body, because if I eat cooked food, I do feel a bit weighed down. But the point of this video is vitality, and vitality is becoming friends with your food and realizing that it is here to nourish your being. And I've been in a phase of my life where I've just done so much on the daily, so much physical things. Waking up very early and doing physical labor and working out and strengthening. And I really, what has shifted for me is the perception that food is bad. Y'all, I'm just so grateful to be alive and to have a body, and my body temple is just thriving, and vitality to me is feeling connected to the earth, feeling connected to your food, where it came from, where you got it, eating from your garden, making it yourself, and yeah. That's really the message here, is cultivate a connection with your food. If you can, plant a garden and eat from your garden. Your body will love you, and there's nothing like feeling connected to the land that you live on. That's truly being rooted in the root chakra. Food is our friend. Food is our friend. And you can eat a lot of food if you're raw. And continue to heal your body and feel optimal and revitalized.